Okay, thanks very much, everybody, for joining. Great to have you on this call. This is our first pre-departure webinar for the University of Plymouth International College for students joining us this September. We're doing this webinar today. We'll do another one in 2 weeks, another one in a month. So if you'd like to join a second or even a third time, you'll be very welcome to. I mean, you can hear all of the information again. Also, we do record the session. So once we've completed the webinar and we have the link to the recording, we'll send that out to everybody who joined as well. So you'll have a chance to watch in your own time as well. I'm going to start by introducing the panel, or giving our panelists a chance to introduce themselves. So I'll start with me. I'm Tim Gotzel. I'm Director of Marketing and Admissions for UPIC, University of Plymouth International College. Start with our colleagues in the building. We have Toby and Amber.
Hi there. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Toby. I'm the Student Experience Coordinator here at the University of Plymouth International College.
Hi there, my name's Amber. I'm Marketing and Student Recruitment Coordinator. So putting together lots of campaigns and trying to get as many people as they can to come to Plymouth because it's a really great place to be.
Hi everyone, my name is Margaret. I'm the Student Recruitment Coordinator for the University of Plymouth for the West African region. Yeah, and I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olashwumi. I'm the Student Recruitment Assistant for the University of Plymouth International College here in West Africa. So good to have you guys here.
That's great. Thank you, everybody. For all of the attendees, you're very welcome to ask questions as we're going through. We will go through a series of slides because there is lots of information that we need to give you. Hopefully that information will include answers to some or most of the questions that you have. But if you do have questions, feel free to raise your hand or to write it into the chat or the Q&A, and we'll try and answer as we go along. Okay, so let's make a start with the agenda. So this is an idea of what we're going to cover in the next hour or so. So starting off with this introduction and then meeting the team, and then we'll describe to you all of the services available on campus at the Student Hub. So that's things like welfare and counselling, dyslexia, immigration support. We'll talk to you about the different accommodation options, both on and off campus. We'll talk you through all of the important dates, including the last date for arrival in the UK. We'll tell you about how to get to Plymouth, really important information about how to complete that last leg of your journey. Talk to you about visas for international students, about the medical centre. Although we're mostly through COVID now, we'll talk to you about the vaccinations that are available. We'll talk to you about the induction week and the different activities, the different welcome talks and events that happen during induction week. And that's a great opportunity just to hit the ground running and become familiar with the college, the university and the city before you start with your formal classes. We'll talk you through the semester dates, the class dates, the end dates, and those lovely examinations that you're all looking forward to so much. We'll tell you about the exam dates. Your representatives on campus, the Student Union Sabbatical Officers will also give you an introduction to them so you know who they are before you join. So that gives you an idea of the agenda. We'll take it in turns to go through the slides that follow. Toby will have a lot to say to you from the student services point of view as our kind of student services lead. But we'll take it in turns, and I'm sure Margaret, Shivomi, Amber will all join in when they realize that Toby or I has omitted something and help us along the way. And also we'll all try and keep up with your questions in the chat or the Q&A. So Toby, would you like to start with telling us all about the fantastic UPIC student and academic services team?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim. And thanks, everyone. Welcome again. So like I mentioned earlier, I work for the Student Experience team. I'm the coordinator here at the college. There will be 2 other members of the Student Experience team, as well as the head of teaching and learning. We are here as the first point of contact for any of your needs throughout your studies with us, and also when you progress across to the university. No issue is too small or no issue is too big. So we're here to go through anything from welfare, accommodation, and all your pre-arrival information. Our opening hours are 8:30 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. You are also able to contact us via 88095. Now, I'm sure some of you are here and some of you have been ringing that number. As you can imagine, we've got quite a few students that are looking to join us this September. So the queries have been indeed a lot. And if you do have any important information, please send through via our email at the bottom there. Anything to do with student support, so arrivals, pre-departure information, please contact student.support@upic.plymouth.ac.uk. The support doesn't just stop there. So when you go across to the university, there's also another student hub team and student services team as well. They are very, very experienced, and they have different facilities from the welfare team, counseling, disability and dyslexia service to the immigration service, the international student advice team, who will help any students that are about to go on placements, who want an extension on their visa, who want to travel abroad and need some advice on some Schengen visas, because Plymouth is located at the southwest of the UK. You can access other countries, as you can imagine, in Europe. So there's a host of different, support services across the university that you will be eligible for. Location. Plymouth is also known as Britain's Ocean City, located at the southwest of the UK with just under 250,000 people in population. And a GQ magazine quoted it for being the coolest little city by the sea. I will show you why very soon. On the virtual tour, which I'm about to take you on, so bear with me 1 second, I'll see what I can share my screen.
So the coolest little city by the sea, I think that's a great summary of what Plymouth is. Margaret's visited just recently, so her first time in Plymouth, so she'll be able to give you some background. But as Toby mentioned, in the southwest of England, but a relatively small city, but with a huge catchment area. So it's a real regional centre for people who live in the wider region, who come here to go to the shops and the cafes, the restaurants, theatres, cinema. It's a tourist centre as well. So lots of people pass here who are going on holiday, either come to here on holiday or further to the west into the region known as Cornwall. It's a great tourist destination. You can also get a ferry to go to France or to Spain from Plymouth. So we're really connected here as well. Really easy to get here by train, and you can even travel by ferry to other countries from Plymouth. So that's what we mean by cool little city. May not be the biggest city at 250,000 people, but it's connected to everyone and everywhere. Margaret, do you want to say a bit about your first impressions when you travelled here?
Yes, I'd like to. It is indeed a very beautiful city. It's small. You can walk the entire distance in 30 to 40 minutes in one direction, actually. But if you choose to take a detour, you should be looking at a cool 2 hours for a leisurely stroll. The place is really beautiful, and everywhere is accessible. Classes are all the halls of study and some of the major buildings, as you've seen on some of our prospectuses or some of our souvenirs, all of those major buildings are within walking reach of the student accommodation, depending on the choice you make. And really, it's a beautiful place. I can't overemphasize that very much. Trust me, you would like the experience.
Fantastic. And this is probably the third time you've seen a lot of blue then, skywise. So the joke in there is that Plymouth is actually hotter than West Africa at the moment. We're going through a heat wave in Plymouth at the moment. So it's just about 32 degrees. If all of you can see the screen and my team members behind you, in front of you, you'd see that Amber's got a window open. So it's quite hot. Yeah. So yes, Britain's Ocean City. Yeah, what can I say? Very, very beautiful. I studied here at the University of Plymouth. I graduated in 2010, and I've been here ever since. The city is very welcoming to the international community. Margaret touched upon the fact that most of our brochures and our adverts across, you'd see this. This is Smeaton Building. It's a lighthouse, very famous. It's on most of our promotional materials. And it's also home to where our students graduate come September. So next month, there'll be a handful of UPIC, ex-UPIC students that have progressed to the university that will be completing their graduation. So a big marquee will be formed on this tarmac right across here. And they'll have such an amazing backdrop to take all their amazing selfies and, you know, having all their parents, their families join them about the experience they've had over the last 4 years. The distance between here and the university is about 10 to 15-minute walk. As you can see, it's quite a city center campus. So we are right at the heart of the city. We are currently hovering over the campus right now. Tim, Amber, and myself are inside this building right here. So right on the corner of the university, right across the train station, and also very close to the coach station, which is around here where my cursor is. This big block of flats or student accommodation, I would say, is right across the campus. Students will have the option to choose across different types of accommodation providers, but we would recommend our accommodation. A few of the facilities available at the bottom here, so we can go down to the Students' Union. Students' Union is right next to the library, which is home to the Student Hub. In the library, we have various student societies, over 300, I believe, anything varying from, you know, a regional point of view. So the African Cultural Society, we've got the Chinese Cultural Society, Nigerian Student Society. So no matter where you're from, there is a representation for you in this university. Just a few little bite shots of what it looks like inside the Students' Union, but hopefully you'll all be joining us very soon and you can have a proper feel of what it is to be a University of Plymouth student. The other thing I would mention as well is the student accommodation. So our accommodation provider is called Clever Student Lets, and they're located right opposite campus, and they have accommodation right across the city at different prices, so to suit most of the demands of any student. From, you know, from a positive point of view, they all add value in the sense that there are different variations in prices. They all include bills, broadband, water, electricity, all that's included in your rent. And the other thing is that the accommodation length is suited to our semester date. So you won't be having to book accommodation for a period that you're not studying. Is there anything else that you'd like to me to hover into, Tim? Anything I've missed, team?
Yeah. Show us where you keep your boat, Toby, down in Royal William Yard.
Oh,
I'm sure we'd all like to see your super yacht.
That boat, Tim. Oh, well, you're telling now, to be fair.
This is just show us the smaller one then.
Yeah, just these are the tiny ones. You know,
this is part of your fleet, isn't it?
Just a few.
Yeah.
I'm joking, everyone. By the way, I do not own a boat. But
no,
yeah.
the point is, it's a great seaside location. So we have this marina here, where people do keep their boats and go out sailing on a lovely sunny day like today. We could go over to Royal William Yard as well, couldn't we, Toby? Let's have a look at that. So Royal William Yard is actually, when we get there, we're going over the Hoe now. So flying our drone over to Royal William Yard. This is another great location. Some of our students actually live here in these converted buildings, which are now all converted into flats and restaurants, and there's even a new cinema that's going to be there soon. Amber's favorite restaurant is here, where she has a loyalty card, goes almost every night. This is a great location as well. And if you come down to this area, just where you're looking there in the middle of the picture, there are ferries that go, you can go on a little ride across the water to the other side of Plymouth. So you can actually get to and fro by boat. And just around the corner, there's another ferry which takes you across the river into Cornwall. So that's another really nice outing that you can do. So absolutely, the being on the seafront adds a great amount to the quality of life that you can enjoy in Plymouth. So even just stepping outside of the college for half an hour at lunchtime or walking down to that grass area called the Hoe, sit there, have some food, look out to sea. But if you're into sports, loads of people go paddle boarding, kayaking, sailing on that water as well. So yeah, that's the sea side of Plymouth, and then inland we have Dartmoor National Park as well, which is a kind of moorland, heathland area, which is great for going walking, for going camping. There are lots of wild horses out there, and that's what we call in the UK an area of outstanding natural beauty. So it's officially designated as an area of outstanding national beauty, and Plymouth is between Dartmoor and the sea. So it's a great location. As you can see, it's quite a compact city. So it's not spread over a huge area. As Margaret said, it's very walkable. You can walk all around the city, all of the places we've shown you, you can see in an hour, half an hour, easy walking distance. And we've got some great shopping as well, haven't we, Toby? Have we got Drake? Can we show Drake Circus on here for Mal?
Yeah. So Drake Circus is, it's a popular shopping center. It has loads of popular, it has a few restaurants, and it also has some amazing shops. You got Apple Store, you got H&M, Zara, JD Sports,
It's got shops variety. At every budget, hasn't it? It's got all the premium brands, and it's got Primark, which is kind of the cheapest option for all your everyday essentials. So everybody's catered for.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll stop sharing now.
Okay, bear with me while.
It's back up now. Just for everyone's info, I've put the URL for the virtual tour just in case you want to take a look at a later time. So I briefly touched on a bit about the accommodation. This is information of how to book your accommodation as well, and to take a look at some of the options available to you. Please use the URL in the slide right in front of you. So upic.navitas.com/accommodation, or within 5 to 10 minutes walk. There are ensuite rooms available, complimentary bedding packs, as well as moving day help from the Clever Student Let's team. It is very important to mention, though, at the moment is you need to book as soon as possible. So if you know you've submitted your visa application and you're about to get your visa, please make a reservation. As you can imagine, there's quite a lot of demand at the moment, and this is probably the first time in about 2 years where everyone has to be here right from the start date. So as you can imagine, there's going to be quite a rush for students arriving. So it's very important to plan ahead and reserve your accommodation as soon as possible.
Worth mentioning, Toby, as well about the accommodation, but it's great value.
Absolutely.
So we're quoting their prices from £90 a week. Those really would be with our preferred letting agent. So we have a relationship with a letting agency called Clever Student Lets. You don't have to use them, but they're used to working with us. So they understand about the kind of flexibility that our students need in terms of different start dates. So they'll only charge you for the accommodation you need. Other landlords can be less flexible than that. All of our students do have full access to the university's accommodation on campus as well. So you do have a great choice. As Toby mentioned, demand is high this year. Usually we're 100% confident that you'll get accommodation that's a really good price, only 5 minutes or so from the college. You'll still get that this year, but you just need to get things organized maybe a little bit earlier to be 100% sure. But it's all quality assured accommodation. And we say that Plymouth is, well, other people say of us that it's in the top 7 most cost-effective student cities in the UK, and in the top 5 safest student cities in the UK. And when you're looking at those prices from around £90, £100 a week, you're looking at perhaps a third or a half of what equivalent London prices would be, for example, or other big city prices would be. So huge saving on big city accommodation prices. and everything in walking distance as well. So if you were in London, you'd almost certainly have to spend money on traveling from your accommodation to where you're studying, and you'll waste time doing that as well. So really convenient, really good value accommodation, and great flexibility as well through the letting agent that we work with.
Thanks, Tim.
Oh, I'd already started talking about Clever Student Lets, and that's what the next slide is. But yeah, we've talked you through that really. So working with Clever Student Lets, and you can see the URL there, or you can actually book with them through our website. They have 5 different styles of room. So something for every kind of need, every budget. Almost all of the accommodation will be en-suite accommodation, or is it all of it now, Toby, that would be en-suite?
No, it's not all of them, but most of their rooms are en suite. They understand that there is a demand to have your own personal bathroom. So.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, all within very easy walking distance of the college and the university campus.
Absolutely.
Did we mention that the college is actually right on the edge of the university campus? So,
yes, we did.
Yeah, in effect, we're in the same place, and just across the road from the train station.
The other thing is obviously very important is how you get to Plymouth straight from the airport when you land. You know, obviously various airports right across the UK, but the most popular one is London Heathrow. London Heathrow Airport to Plymouth is probably just under 3.5 hours. You can take the Heathrow Express right across to Paddington and then travel down. But just in case any of you want to you know, come and travel right from the airport via taxi service, that is available and can be booked via the URL there. Standard cost is about £240 per person. If you're traveling as a group, it may be more, it may be cheaper than that. Okay, but please put in your application via the URL.
Lots of different ways of getting to Plymouth. Toby just mentioned the taxi service. So if you want to travel in personal comfort of the highest order, you can get your own taxi, but there are much cheaper ways of getting here. By train is one of the quickest. So if you're landing at Heathrow, you travel into London on the Express, and then from Paddington down to Plymouth, that journey takes 3 to 3.5 hours. So that's a really convenient way of doing it. Probably the cheapest way of traveling to Plymouth would be by coach. There are direct coaches from Heathrow Airport, which usually run around every 2 hours, and you can buy your ticket online. That's probably the cheapest way of getting here. And again, the coach station is right in the centre of the city and just across the road from the college and the university. So that's really conveniently located as well. So those are your travel options. Anything else I've left out there, Toby? So train, taxi, coach.
No, that's everything.
BRP.
BRP. So a BRP is your biometric residence permit. When you all obtain your visas, there's going to be a stamp in your passport, which is an entry clearance vignette. It's valid for just under 4 months. And essentially it's used for when you're passing the border and you arrive by plane, go through customs, you enter into the country and come into Plymouth, and then you need to pick up your BRP, so your biometric residence permit, from the post office. It's also very important that when you arrive, you email that UKVI reporting at the university, that email address on your screen highlighted in blue, just to let a member of the team know that you've arrived, and then they will send you a link for you to upload all your documents, okay? The medical center is available as well. You can register via the link there. At the medical center, just because when you apply, you pay what you call an IHS fee, so international health surcharge. So essentially all costs in regards to, like, you know, attending a GP or prescriptions, they are all free once you're a student. So you get free access to good healthcare once you arrive.
All you have to do to access a health centre is to register with a GP, and then you have automatic access to the university's medical centre, which is right in the heart of the campus. COVID vaccinations. hopefully we can stop talking about this completely soon. So there are still a number of cases of COVID in the UK. In fact, the number of cases is quite high in the general population, but the way in which people are getting ill or unwell now with COVID is much more mild than it's been before. So when people are getting infected, it's much more like just having a cold now. So very few people are having to go to the hospital or getting seriously ill with COVID. If you're not vaccinated and you would like to be, or you've been vaccinated once and you want a second vaccine, then you can do that free of charge as soon as you're registered with a general practitioner, with a doctor in the UK. So you can access those vaccinations free of charge if you're not up to date. But there's no requirement now when you enter the UK to prove that you've been vaccinated. There's no passenger locator form or any of the other devices that we've had previously to kind of keep track of people and their vaccination status. So I'm not at all going to say to you that COVID has gone away. It clearly hasn't, but it's much less of a problem in that it's not making people unwell in the same numbers it is, but not in the same severity as it has done previously. So it's a personal thing. I'd strongly recommend getting vaccinated because it's still not pleasant, but it's not the life-threatening thing it was before, and it isn't disrupting our lives in a way that it has done previously. So hopefully we've nearly seen the end of it. Toby, enrolment, important dates here, aren't there?
Yeah, so very important dates. If you're an undergrad student on this call, your orientation starts on the 12th to the 16th of September. If you're postgrad, it's the week after, so the 19th to the 23rd. It's very important that you arrive as soon as the orientation starts, but if for any reason you're waiting for your visa, please communicate that across to the student support team, and we'll make sure that you get access to some of the recordings. Okay, all the sessions are going to be face-to-face. Classes start the week after all these orientation programs, but you will be sent a schedule come the end of this month. Later on, so I believe next week or the week after, you'll be getting a pre-departure guide that'll have all these, or everything, most of the information that we've spoken about during this webinar today.
Anything else on that, Toby, or should we move on?
No, we can move on.
We'll move on to the UPIC welcome talks.
So the welcome talks are at the end of the orientation week. And during these talks, you have more in-depth schedules with some important members of the team. So the college principal, the head of teaching and learning, you'd be given a welcome talk by some of your lecturers, and there'll all be program specific talks. So depending on whether you've come in to do a health and human science program, or you're doing a pre-master's program or architecture, there'll be something for everyone. You would also get some introductions of how to join your classes, your access to your timetable. Bank letters will be produced so you can open your bank account, and just an introduction to the student portal, which we call Moodle. That's where you access all your different modules whilst you study here at the UPIC. Just some key dates there, like I've mentioned earlier. So the orientation week, when your classes start, last day of postgraduate orientation, when your next semester fees are due. This only applies to undergrad students, and also the end of semester date, so from the 12th to the 16th. From the 16th of December, you are free to travel and hopefully resume for the next study period. Over here, we just have some of our sabbatical officers. They've just been elected very recently. Very good mixed representation of the university there. You've got the president, the VP Activities Education. So they're there on your behalf. So if you have any issues at all with any service, you can contact them and they'll be happy to help.
They really genuinely are an important part of the way in which the university is managed. So they'll sit on all the senior university management committees as the student representative on those committees. So we try and make it very much a kind of democratic community, the university community, where students really can have a say in the way that things happen, the way that decisions are made. And we have had former UPIC students who've gone on to be the president of a student union and have other important roles in the student union. So hopefully one of you listening today, joining us on this call, will be appearing on that slide in a few years' time.
Absolutely. And just to finish off with just some of our contact details, in regards to your arrival, Tim and myself are your major contacts. Amber is also available as well, but we can share her details in the chat function. Margaret and Olashubomi are located in our West African office. So if you want to contact anybody local, you can get in touch with them. But yes, please do use the student support email majorly for this pre-departure event.
So I think that's about it for all of the information that we need to share, but we'll offer Margaret, Amber, Shubomi the opportunity to say anything more that you would like to say before we move on.
Yeah, none from me.
Hi everyone. I and Shubumi we've been taking time to answer a lot of questions, and I know that it feels like we've already come to the end of the webinar. But if you still have more questions, I've put my email down. Toby, can you share your email as well? If you have pending applications and you need a quick update on what your CAS situation looks like, or you envisage that you're going to be late to resume for your program for this intake, kindly send us an email so that we can start advising you on the next steps to take. And especially for students who envisage they're going to be late to get their visas, kindly send us an email so that we are better prepared to assist you with the enrollment process while you're awaiting your visa outcome. All right. So I wanted to mention that because I've gotten some questions about that in the question and answer sessions. And I wanted to quickly mention that before I forget. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Margaret. I'm not sure if we've been able to answer every question, but some of the things we're often asked, the FAQs, frequently asked questions. How can I enroll, Toby, if I haven't got my visa?
If you haven't gotten your visa and you'd like to enroll, we need to just wait until the last date of, so you need to be here as soon as possible. So it's just a waiting game on when you arrive. So it's very important that you just contact a member of the student support team.
And when I come to the UK, it's fine if I go and live in Liverpool or Glasgow or somewhere else, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I don't need to be in Plymouth, do I?
Absolutely, you need
Why?
to be in Plymouth because it's one of the requirements of your visa that you are within a commutable distance to the city and the university.
You have to attend classes. It's really important. So for the last 2.5 years or so, we've been teaching online. Now everything is back on campus. That's in lots of ways, that's great because you'll have the opportunity to meet new people, make new friends, live the life that Plymouth has to offer. But you also need to be close by so that you can attend all of your classes because that's why you're here. You know, it's a big investment of time, of money, of your money or your parents' money, and you need to get a return on that investment. More than 90% of our students progress to their degree program. More than 90% of our students graduate. But you don't want to be in the less than 10% of students who don't. So being here in the city is really important so you can attend all of your classes and take advantage of all of the support that we can offer you here in UPIC. As long as I've only paid half my fees, that's enough, isn't it, Toby? I don't need to pay the second half, do I?
Yes, you do. This mostly applies to undergrad students, but yes, it's very important that you pay the second half of your fees. If you're joining us as an undergrad student, so either foundation or first year, your fees are due on the 18th of November.
Okay, thank you. I'll start saving now. How early can I arrive in Plymouth? Can I leave tomorrow to come and join you?
No, unfortunately. I think you may be able to leave the day after that because your visa starts a month exactly from our enrollment period, which is the 12th of September. So yes, from the 12th of August, but maybe late on the 12th of August, if you've gotten your visa already, you may be able to travel.
I'm really excited by everything you've shown me and told me, so I just want to get there as soon as possible. Oh no, I forget, I'm already here. But if I were a student, I would want to.
Yep.
Do I need to buy a laptop?
It's important to have access to a good working laptop, just in case you are traveling or need access to watch some videos later, some recordings of lectures late in the evening. It's also good to have that access and be mobile. So yes, I would say a laptop is very much needed. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, during COVID, we live streamed all of our classes and recorded them.
Yes.
So that's something we've learned actually from COVID. We will carry on recording our classes. So as Toby mentioned, an opportunity to get a second watch. So if you didn't quite understand something, everything is now recorded and you can watch it in your own time. But that isn't going to work very well on your phone. So yeah, absolutely buy a laptop. It's actually really easy to buy a low-cost laptop that will work perfectly well in the UK. So, and there are lots of second-hand shops which are completely reliable and trustworthy for buying a laptop if you're on a limited budget. So for £200-300, you can get a quite serviceable laptop. So a good laptop can be less expensive than just a cheap phone. I've got a few things going on at home, Toby, but I need to sort out. When's the last day I can arrive in the UK? November, about November, that would be fine, won't it?
No, absolutely not. We encourage all students to arrive from the beginning during our orientation program. If they're going to arrive later, it's very important you let us know, and then we can inform you on an individual basis when is the last day to arrive in the UK.
Okay. We have a bit more flexibility for undergraduates, but for postgraduates, for the pre-masters program, you really do need to be here for the first day of teaching.
Absolutely.
When I arrive in the UK at the airport, what's the first thing I should do?
Contact a member of the student support team and also email UKVI reporting to complete your right to study check. These are both very important requirements of your visa and your ability to study here at UPIC.
Okay, thank you for answering all my questions. I hope they were questions that some of our students had as well. Is there anything else anybody would like to ask? If you'd like to use your voice, then raise your hand and we can get you to speak, or anything else you'd like to ask, use the Q&A or the chat functions, or you have mine and Toby's contact details. So anything you think of after we've finished the call, then do just get in touch and let us know. We'll be very happy to help. Margaret, you have a question.
Yes, I do. Toby, can you shed more light on what students can do to book their accommodation?
Yes, so I will put the link in the chat function now. And it has the ability to, I didn't spell accommodation right, bear with me.
You need a foundation program.
I probably do. There we go. Yeah, so if you use the URL, it'll give you access to the accommodation at UPIC, and I also show you some call to actions on how to book. Hi, Ufoma.
Ufoma Fogba has her hand raised, or his hand raised. You're on mute, I think. I can probably unmute you here.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yes.
Okay, sorry, I joined the meeting quite late. I was quite busy, but I was able to get my CAS yesterday. So straight away, I'm applying for visa. So I was still going to ask when is the last day I could get to campus, get to school.
What course are you doing, Ufoma?
International logistics and supply chain management.
So that's the pre-masters program?
Yes.
So you would need to be here by Monday, the 23rd of September.
Okay.
So enrollment, ideally, you'd be here on Monday the 16th, because that's when the induction week starts. But certainly you need to be here by the first day of teaching, which is Monday the 23rd of September.
Sorry, it's 26th.
Sorry, Monday the 26th. Yeah, sorry, Toby.
No problem.
So I should get you right. I have to be there before on the 16th.
We would ideally want you to be here by the 19th of September. Understandably, today's date is the 11th, and we know the applications are taking up to 3 weeks. We would encourage you to apply as soon as possible, so you can get the biometric day. If you get a biometric day within the next 10 days, you should still get here on time. But the latest day you can start is the 26th of September, Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Anyone? I think, Shubomi, you're still writing an answer in the Q&A, aren't you?
Yes, please.
I hope you're all excited about coming to join us. We're certainly excited to welcome you here to Plymouth, and it's only a few weeks away now, so only 5 or 6 weeks away. So I think I can just about remember being an international student many decades ago now, and I can remember being very excited but very nervous as well. I think you're nervous about small things, aren't you? Like making the journey and where you're actually going to sleep on your first night and all of that kind of thing. So I would just make sure that you feel secure about all of that. Make sure you have your accommodation booked. You have your journey booked, so you know how everything is going to work. Once you get yourselves here, we've got a really friendly, supportive student services team who can help you to settle in. And with your academic studies as well. So all of the classes we offer, but we also, all of our teachers are very accessible. If there's something you're struggling with, you can ask them for help outside of a class. If there anything in particular like English language or IT or any of those kinds of other skills that you need, we can help you with support for those as well. So that's the other thing I would say, is never be afraid to ask. There's no such thing as a silly question when you come to UPIC. Any question is a good question. It's just something you don't know the answer to yet. So don't be worried on that score either. We're all here to welcome you and then to help you. And our aim is your success, your future success, your success in moving on to the university, your success in graduating to the university, from the university. And anything we can do to help you with that, we're more than happy to help. How are we doing on the Q&As? I can see some answers still being typed there, so I won't cut you all off before those answers are in. You want to speak? Okay, Amber, I think Amber wanted to mention something.
Hi there. Yeah, sorry, me and Tim are in the same room, so we have to coordinate when we're on mute and when we're not. But I was just going to echo what he said, really. Of course, when you come to UPIC, it's going to be really supportive. You'll meet us, you'll meet other international students. It's great. And what I was going to say is that to really join the student community and to do lots of things in Plymouth, you can join the University of Plymouth activities and societies. So they've got over 100 societies. That's water sports, dance, sport, creative things, lots of different things you can do. So yeah, if you're ever thinking, I'm a bit bored today, what should I do? You can kind of get in touch with us. You can kind of see what's around and see what kind of clubs you can join, just to really just make the most of your time here and to meet more people.
Great, thanks, Amber. Oh, Eniola has raised your hand. Let me see if I can give you permission to speak. Eniola, what would you like to ask?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, yeah, I would like to talk about the accommodation.
Sure.
So,
What would you like to know exactly about the accommodation?
okay, so is there any other any lesser amount of, I don't know, for the price, the accommodation, because I saw 90 pounds. Is there anyone lower than that?
Unfortunately, there won't be anything lower than probably about 85 at a push for accommodation per week.
Toby, I think it's fair to say it's quite a complicated answer, isn't it? And you do need to be quite careful about this. So when you come to Plymouth, you will see accommodation advertised at maybe 55 or 60 pounds a week. But the reason you need to be very careful is that often those lower prices will be for a whole year. So a private landlord might want you to pay for 52 weeks for the year when you may only need 38 or 39 weeks. So obviously, if you're paying for those extra weeks, that means that 55 pounds a week is in effect becoming more expensive. The other thing you need to be really careful about is that sometimes the price quoted does not include electricity, so heating, lighting, and everything else. And that can be quite expensive now in the UK. If you use university accommodation or you use clever student let accommodation, that may at first sight appear slightly more expensive, but it will be an all-inclusive price. So including everything other than food. So it will include all of your heating and your lighting and your Wi-Fi, your broadband, everything that you need. And also some of the university halls have a meals plan. So you can pay extra and have, I think it's 2 meals a day, a morning and an evening meal on campus, and that then is prepaid. So you can actually cover all of your costs in advance. So, but what you need to do is just do the sums quite carefully, work out what's included or what's not included in a rent price that you see, and then work out how much it's going to cost you over the year.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay, I think, are we all up to date with the questions now?
Yeah, we don't have any more questions.
Yes, we are. I think just the last thing to say really would be if there's anybody that's just waiting for any communication from us, so waiting for an offer, waiting for a CAS, please do bear with us. It's probably best to email either one of us, so either Tim, myself, or Amber or Margaret. So anybody on this forum right now, you can contact us and we can look into that and try and chase things up for you. There is a little bit of a delay on our admissions folder, so do bear with us.
It's all that we're doing though in our admissions team now at the moment. So we're not processing any more new applications for September. We're working through all of the completed applications and making sure everybody gets their CAS in time. So we are working through the CASs. There is a little bit of a backlog because demand has been so high, but we think we can get through 15 to 18 a day in the team. So we will catch up very quickly, certainly over the next week or 10 days or so. So do bear with us. We understand it's an anxious time when you've got your unconditional offer, you've paid, but you still don't have your CAS, but we will get to it, we promise you, in the next week or 10 days or so. Okay, any more questions before we wrap up? If not, I would like to thank my colleagues here in Plymouth, thank Toby and Amber for their contributions, my colleagues in Lagos, Margaret and Olashubomi, for their contributions and for handling all of the text-based questions. For all of the attendees on the call, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have this kind of almost a first opportunity to meet you. But we certainly look forward to meeting you properly when you join us in Plymouth in September. Any other questions you have in the meantime, please do feel free to reach out and we'll do everything we can to help. If you'd like to talk to us again, we're doing another webinar like this in a fortnight's time and then in another 2 weeks after that. So you're welcome to join again if you would like to, and we'll send out the link to those in advance. And as I mentioned at the start, when we have the recording for this webinar, we'll send it out to everybody who joined, and we'll also post it on our YouTube channel. So go and take a look at our YouTube channel because there are lots of videos on there that could be of interest to you anyway about living and studying in Plymouth to give you a good idea about how it's going to be when you get here. Great. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you all panelists. Thank you all. future students who joined us. And we hope to see you very soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
All the best.
Yeah.